Deep in the uncharted void of the cosmos lies a mystery older than time itself. A team of intrepid explorers stumbles upon something no human has ever seen before: ancient star charts etched by hands not of this world. These maps promise more than just coordinates. They whisper of forgotten civilizations, untold riches, and secrets that could change the fate of humanity forever. But as the crew follows these celestial breadcrumbs, they will face dangers beyond imagination and discoveries that may shatter their understanding of reality. Are you ready to journey through the stars? Subscribe now and join us as we unravel Lost Stars, unlocking ancient cosmic secrets. The universe stretched endlessly above them, a canvas painted with billions of stars, each one a silent witness to eons of cosmic history. The research vessel, named EOS, drifted silently among the constellations, its sleek metallic frame glinting faintly under the distant light of a dying sun. On board, a team of 6 scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, driven by curiosity and ambition. They had been sent on a mission funded by Earth's wealthiest conglomerates, a quest to map unknown regions of space, but none of them expected what awaited them. It began when the ship's sensors picked up an anomaly deep within a dense asteroid field. At first glance, it appeared to be nothing more than debris scattered across millennia by some long-forgotten cataclysm. Yet, as the scanners probed deeper, patterns emerged, patterns too symmetrical, too deliberate to be natural. Captain Elena Voss ordered the ship to approach cautiously, her instincts tingling with both excitement and unease. What lay hidden beneath those jagged rocks would soon alter the course of their lives, and perhaps the destiny of the entire galaxy. As the EOS maneuvered closer, the true nature of the anomaly revealed itself. Embedded within the largest asteroid was a structure unlike anything humanity had encountered. It wasn't merely carved or constructed. It seemed to grow organically from the rock itself, pulsating faintly with an inner luminescence. The surface was covered in strange symbols, resembling constellations but distorted in ways that defied logic. This was no ordinary artifact. It was a map, vast and complex, hinting at destinations far beyond the edges of known space. The crew gathered around the main display, where the artifact's image was projected in stunning detail. Each symbol seemed to shift slightly when viewed from different angles, as though alive. The map didn't conform to any known system of navigation, yet it radiated an undeniable sense of purpose. Dr. Marcus Hale, the expedition's astrophysicist, speculated that the map might represent a network of wormholes or hyperspace routes used by an ancient civilization. Others suggested it could be a guide to resources, treasures, or even habitable worlds lost to time. Whatever its origin, the artifact was clearly meant to be followed. Captain Voss knew they couldn't ignore the implications. If this map truly led to ancient civilizations or technologies, it could redefine humanity's place in the universe. Yet, there was also the possibility of danger. The artifact's creators, if they still existed, might not welcome intruders. After hours of debate, the decision was made. They would analyze the map further and prepare for the next step. The crew worked late into the night, running simulations and cross-referencing data. Outside the ship, the asteroid field loomed like a silent sentinel, guarding its secrets. The discovery ignited a flurry of activity aboard the EOS. Scientists pored over data, analyzing every detail of the map with tools designed for deciphering alien languages and geometries. Dr. Marcus Hale, the expedition's lead astrophysicist, theorized that the map might represent a network of wormholes leading to distant parts of the universe. Others speculated that it could point to remnants of ancient civilizations, relics left behind by beings who once mastered the art of interstellar travel. Whatever its purpose, there was no denying its significance. For days, the crew debated how best to proceed. Some argued for immediate exploration, eager to follow the map's cryptic pathways. Others urged caution, warning of potential dangers lurking in uncharted territories. Captain Voss ultimately decided they couldn't ignore such a monumental find. Preparations were made to launch a probe equipped with advanced imaging systems, tasked with charting the map's coordinates and determining if any of them led to viable destinations. When the probe returned, the results exceeded all expectations. Several points on the map corresponded to real locations, planets, moons, and even artificial constructs floating in the void. One destination stood out above the rest, a massive ring-shaped object orbiting a dim red dwarf star. Its architecture suggested intelligence, yet it emitted no signs of life. Was it abandoned? Or merely dormant? The decision to investigate was unanimous. The journey to the ring world took weeks, during which tension simmered among the crew. Speculation ran rampant about what they might find. Would it be ruins teeming with treasures, as legends often promised? Or something far darker, a trap set by an unimaginable intelligence? Despite their fears, anticipation grew with each passing day. When the Eos finally arrived, the sight left everyone speechless. The ring world loomed against the backdrop of the red dwarf, its surface gleaming like polished obsidian. Gigantic spires jutted outward, forming intricate lattices that caught the faint light and refracted it into dazzling rainbows. As the ship approached, automated defenses sprang to life, scanning the intruders with beams of energy. For a brief moment, panic gripped the crew, but then the defenses powered down, granting them access. Landing parties were assembled, clad in reinforced exosuits designed to withstand hostile environments. Armed with scanners, drones, and sampling equipment, they descended onto the ringworld's surface. The air inside was breathable, though heavy with an odd metallic tang. Everywhere they looked, evidence of an advanced civilization surrounded them. Towering statues depicting beings with elongated limbs and featureless faces, walls adorned with hieroglyphics, and machines that hummed softly despite centuries, or perhaps millennia, of neglect. The crew split into teams to explore different sections of the ring world. Each corridor revealed new wonders. Libraries filled with crystalline tablets inscribed with alien script, laboratories housing experiments frozen in time, and chambers containing artifacts whose functions remained a mystery. Yet, amidst the marvels, there was an eerie stillness, as though the ring world itself was holding its breath, waiting. Exploration revealed that the ring world was not just a relic, but a repository of knowledge. Central to its design was a colossal chamber housing a three-dimensional projection of the galaxy. Unlike traditional star charts, this one was alive, shifting and evolving as if tracking movements in real time. Embedded within it were markers corresponding to the coordinates found on the original asteroid map. Each marker pulsed with a unique frequency, suggesting additional layers of information waiting to be unlocked. Dr. Hale hypothesized that the map served as a guide to other sites, each containing fragments of a larger puzzle. If pieced together correctly, they might uncover the ultimate secret of the civilization that built it. But why leave such clues behind? And where had its creators gone? Questions swirled in the minds of the crew, fueling their determination to press onward. One marker stood out due to its proximity, a moon orbiting a gas giant several light years away. With little deliberation, the crew prepared for another voyage. As the Eos departed the ring world, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, not by physical eyes, but by something far more enigmatic. The journey to the moon was fraught with uncertainty. The crew spent hours poring over the data collected from the ring world, trying to piece together the story of its creators. Fragments of alien text hinted at a society that valued harmony and balance, yet warnings embedded in the hieroglyphics spoke of conflict and destruction. It seemed the civilization had faced internal strife, leading to its downfall or perhaps its transformation. As they neared the moon, the ship's sensors detected unusual energy signatures emanating from its surface. The landscape was barren and scarred, as though ravaged by war. Yet, amidst the desolation, a single structure stood intact, a pyramid-like edifice crafted from a material that shimmered like liquid silver. Its entrance was sealed by a barrier of energy, pulsating rhythmically as though alive. Arriving at the designated moon, the crew discovered a barren landscape scarred by ancient battles. Craters pockmarked the ground, some so large they resembled wounds inflicted by weapons of unimaginable power. Amidst the devastation stood a single structure, a pyramid-like edifice crafted from a material that shimmered like liquid silver. Its entrance was sealed by a barrier of energy, pulsating rhythmically as though alive. Attempts to breach the barrier proved futile until Dr. Hale noticed a pattern etched into the surrounding terrain. Using the same technology used to analyze the initial map, he deduced that the pattern required replication via sound waves. After hours of trial and error, the barrier dissolved, revealing a labyrinthine interior lit by bioluminescent flora clinging to the walls. Inside, the air was thick with an almost tangible sense of history. Artifacts lined the corridors, tools, weapons, and devices whose functions remained inscrutable. At the heart of the pyramid lay a chamber containing a crystalline orb suspended in midair. Touching it triggered a cascade of images projected onto the walls, scenes of bustling cities, spacecraft traversing the stars, and rituals involving the very maps the crew now sought. The visions offered glimpses into the past of the civilization responsible for the maps. They called themselves the Luminari, beings of light and wisdom who had achieved mastery over space and time. Their society thrived on harmony, guided by principles encoded in the star charts. However, discord eventually arose, leading to a schism that fractured their unity. Some sought to preserve their legacy, hiding pieces of their knowledge throughout the cosmos. Others pursued domination, unleashing technologies that brought about their downfall. As the crew absorbed this revelation, the orb emitted a soft chime, releasing a stream of data into their systems. Among the information was another set of coordinates, pointing toward a new location. The message accompanying it warned of trials ahead, urging those who followed the path to prove their worthiness. The next destination was a binary star system, where two suns danced in a fiery embrace. Orbiting them was a shattered planet, its remains forming a ring of debris. Within the chaos, the crew detected a signal emanating from a derelict spacecraft. Its design bore similarities to the structures they had encountered before, confirming its connection to the Luminari. Boarding the craft was a harrowing experience. The interior was dark and cold, littered with the remnants of its former occupants. Holographic logs flickered to life as the crew explored, revealing the final days of the ship's crew. They had been sent to safeguard a fragment of the star charts but were ambushed by forces seeking to exploit the knowledge for destructive purposes. The last log ended abruptly, leaving the fate of the crew unknown. Amidst the wreckage, the team discovered a vault containing another piece of the map. Unlike previous artifacts, this one was incomplete, damaged beyond repair. It seemed the Luminari had anticipated betrayal and taken measures to protect their secrets. The crew realized they would need to gather all remaining fragments to fully understand the map's purpose. Returning to the EO stash, they plotted a course for the next location, aware that time was running out. The data from the orb indicated that certain coordinates were shifting, as though the map itself was decaying. If they failed to act quickly, the secrets of the Luminari might be lost forever. Each new site brought fresh challenges and revelations. The crew faced environmental hazards, hostile creatures, and traps designed to deter unworthy seekers. Yet, with each obstacle overcome, they grew closer to unlocking the truth. Along the way, they uncovered fragments of the Luminari's philosophy, a belief in interconnectedness, a reverence for the cosmos, and a warning against hubris. The final destination awaited them, a black hole surrounded by a halo of light. According to the map, it housed the culmination of the Luminari's knowledge, a repository capable of reshaping reality itself. As the Eos approached, the crew felt a mixture of awe and dread. They knew the journey ahead would test not only their skills, but their very souls. The black hole's accretion disk shimmered like molten gold, its gravitational pull distorting the surrounding stars into streaks of light. At its edge floated a massive construct, a sphere encased in a lattice of glowing filaments. It pulsed rhythmically, as though breathing. Captain Voss ordered the ship to dock cautiously, aware that this might be their last chance to uncover the secrets of the star charts, or their doom. Inside the sphere, the air was thick with an otherworldly energy. The walls were lined with crystalline panels, each displaying streams of data too complex for human comprehension. At the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, atop which rested a fragment of the map, the final piece needed to complete the puzzle. But as Dr. Hale reached out to retrieve it, the room shifted. The walls dissolved into holographic projections, showing scenes of destruction, civilizations collapsing under the weight of their own ambition, entire galaxies consumed by war. A voice echoed through the chamber, deep and resonant, speaking in a language none of them understood. Yet, somehow, the meaning was clear. To claim the knowledge of the stars is to bear the burden of creation and destruction. Prove yourselves worthy. This proclamation sent shivers down the spines of everyone present. The crew exchanged glances, their faces etched with determination and apprehension. They had come so far, through perilous asteroid fields, ancient ruins, and cryptic trials, to reach this moment. Failure here meant not just the loss of discovery, but potentially the unraveling of everything they had worked for. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. They had come so far, endured so much, only to face one final trial. The holograms faded, leaving behind a series of floating platforms suspended over an abyss. Each platform bore a symbol matching those on the star charts. A faint hum filled the air, and the platforms began to rearrange themselves, forming a labyrinthine path. Captain Voss stepped forward first, her movements deliberate. She placed her hand on the first platform, and it glowed softly in response. Encouraged, she moved to the next, then the next. Behind her, the others followed, each step triggering a reaction in the construct. Some platforms lit up with warmth, while others emitted sharp bursts of energy, forcing the crew to backtrack and rethink their route. Dr. Hale studied the patterns intently, recognizing parallels between the trial and the Luminari's philosophy. The symbols represented balance, light and dark, chaos and order, creation and destruction. To succeed, they had to navigate not just physically but mentally, embracing the duality inherent in existence. As they progressed, the trials became more complex. Illusions appeared, testing their resolve. One crew member, Lieutenant Ria Torres, found herself standing on what seemed to be the edge of a cliff, staring into an endless void. Her heart raced, but she closed her eyes, focusing on the lessons they had learned from the Luminari. When she opened them again, the illusion dissolved, revealing the next platform. Another crew member, Engineer Soren Cade, encountered a vision of his own family back on Earth, beckoning him to abandon the mission. The temptation was almost overwhelming, but he reminded himself of the greater purpose driving them all. With a firm shake of his head, the mirage vanished, and he continued onward. The labyrinth seemed endless, each turn presenting new challenges. Yet, with every step, the crew grew more attuned to the underlying logic of the trial. It wasn't just about physical navigation. It was about understanding the values and principles of the Luminari. Only by embodying those ideals could they hope to succeed. After what felt like hours, the crew reached the end of the labyrinth. Before them stood a massive gate, its surface adorned with intricate carvings depicting the rise and fall of countless civilizations. At its center was a slot perfectly sized for the final map fragment. Dr. Hale carefully inserted it, and the gate began to open, emitting a low-frequency vibration that resonated through their bones. Beyond the gate lay a chamber unlike anything they had seen before. The walls were alive with shifting constellations, and in the center floated a sphere of pure energy. It pulsed gently, radiating warmth and light. This, they realized, was the culmination of the Luminari's knowledge, a repository containing everything they had ever discovered about the universe. But as they approached, the voice returned. You have proven your worthiness to access this knowledge. Yet, beware, understanding comes at a cost. To see the truth of the cosmos is to confront the fragility of your own existence. Captain Voss hesitated, weighing the risks. The crew had sacrificed so much to reach this point. Could they turn back now? With a deep breath, she nodded, and the team activated their recording devices, capturing every detail of the sphere's contents. As the data streamed into their systems, the crew experienced sensations beyond description. Their minds expanded, absorbing vast amounts of information in mere moments. They saw the origins of life, the formation of galaxies, and the delicate balance that sustained the cosmos. But alongside these wonders came shadows, images of devastation wrought by greed, arrogance, and ignorance. Lieutenant Torres clutched her head, overwhelmed by the influx of knowledge. Engineer Cade staggered backward, muttering fragments of alien languages he didn't even know he understood. Even Captain Voss, usually stoic and composed, felt tears streaming down her face as she glimpsed the sheer scale of existence. The data streamed into their systems, overwhelming them with information. Star systems, technologies, histories, philosophies, all poured into their consciousness at once. They saw the origins of life, the birth of galaxies, and the interconnectedness of all things. But they also witnessed the consequences of unchecked ambition, planets scorched by warfare, species driven to extinction, and entire civilizations reduced to dust. Among the revelations was one that struck them hardest. The Luminari had not vanished but transcended. They had evolved beyond physical form, becoming part of the cosmic fabric itself. Their maps were not merely guides but invitations, to join them in their ascension or to learn from their mistakes. As the download completed, the sphere dimmed, its energy fading. The crew staggered back, reeling from the influx of knowledge. Dr. Hale collapsed to his knees, tears streaming down his face. He had glimpsed the beauty and terror of infinity, and it had changed him forever. Returning to the EOS dash, the crew struggled to process what they had experienced. The data they carried was both a gift and a burden. It contained the potential to revolutionize humanity, but also the power to destroy it. Captain Voss called a meeting, knowing they had to decide what to do next. "We can't keep this to ourselves," she said finally. "But we can't unleash it without safeguards. The Luminari entrusted us with their legacy, and we owe it to them, and to ourselves, to use it wisely." They agreed to share only portions of the data, enough to advance human understanding without tipping the scales toward catastrophe. The rest would remain classified, stored in secure archives until humanity proved ready for the full truth. The journey home was long and reflective. Each crew member grappled with the weight of what they had seen. For some, it was a source of inspiration. For others, a haunting reminder of their limitations. They had ventured into the unknown seeking answers, only to return with even more questions. When they finally arrived back on Earth, they were greeted as heroes. News of their discovery spread quickly, igniting debates across the globe. Governments, corporations, and scientific institutions clamored for access to the data. But Captain Voss held firm, insisting on strict controls to prevent misuse. In secret meetings, the crew worked tirelessly to analyze the information, separating the beneficial from the dangerous. They developed breakthrough technologies based on luminary designs, including sustainable energy sources and advanced medical treatments. These innovations sparked a new era of progress, lifting millions out of poverty and fostering unprecedented global cooperation. Yet, despite their success, the crew couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Strange phenomena began occurring around the world. Unexplained lights in the sky, sudden shifts in weather patterns, and whispers of contact from beings beyond human comprehension. It seemed the Luminari, or whatever remained of them, were still observing, waiting to see how humanity would wield their gift. Months turned into years, and the crew of the EOS went their separate ways, though they remained bound together by their shared experience. Dr. Hale dedicated his life to studying the Luminaries' philosophy, publishing papers that challenged conventional thinking and inspired a new generation of scientists. Lieutenant Torres became an advocate for ethical technology use, working tirelessly to ensure the discoveries were used responsibly. Engineer Cade founded a company specializing in sustainable engineering, applying luminary principles to solve Earth's most pressing problems. Captain Voss, however, never fully adjusted to life on Earth. The weight of leadership and the responsibility of safeguarding the Luminaries' knowledge weighed heavily on her. She often retreated to remote locations, gazing at the stars and pondering the mysteries they still concealed. One night, as she stood beneath a clear sky, she noticed something unusual, a constellation that hadn't been there before. Its pattern matched one of the symbols from the star charts. Her heart raced as she realized the message it conveyed. Your journey is not yet complete. Summoning the crew, she shared her discovery. Together, they decoded the signal, which pointed to a new location, a distant nebula teeming with energy. Though uncertain of what awaited them, they knew one thing for sure. The story of the Luminari was far from over. Preparations for a second expedition began immediately. Funding poured in from eager sponsors, drawn by the promise of further revelations. The crew upgraded the EOS with cutting-edge technology derived from the Luminari's designs, ensuring they were better equipped for whatever lay ahead. As they set course for the nebula, a sense of déjà vu washed over them. Once again, they were venturing into the unknown, driven by curiosity and a desire to understand the cosmos. Yet, this time, they carried not just hope, but also wisdom gleaned from their previous journey. Upon arrival, they found the nebula alive with activity. Streams of plasma danced across the void, forming intricate patterns that resembled the star charts. At its center floated an enormous structure, a crystalline spire glowing with an inner light. As they approached, the spire emitted a pulse of energy that enveloped the EOS dash, pulling them inside. Within the spire, they encountered a being unlike anything they had imagined. It was neither solid nor ethereal, existing somewhere between dimensions. Its voice resonated in their minds, conveying thoughts rather than words. You have grown since our last meeting, it said. But growth requires sacrifice. Are you prepared to take the next step? The being revealed itself to be a remnant of the Luminari, a fragment of their collective consciousness preserved within the spire. It explained that humanity's evolution depended on their willingness to embrace unity, not just among themselves, but with the cosmos as a whole. To achieve this, they would need to transcend their current limitations, much like the Luminari had done millennia ago. The crew was given a choice: remain as they were, content with incremental progress, or embark on a transformative journey that would alter their essence forever. The decision was unanimous. They chose transformation, knowing it was the only way to honor the trust placed in them. The process was both beautiful and agonizing. Their bodies dissolved into streams of light, merging with the spire's energy. In that state, they experienced pure consciousness, free from the constraints of physical form. Memories, emotions, and knowledge flowed freely, creating a tapestry of interconnected experiences. They saw the universe not as separate entities, but as a single, living organism, a symphony of matter, energy, and thought. As the transformation completed, the crew re-emerged, though they were no longer entirely human. Their forms shimmered with an ethereal glow, their movements fluid and weightless. They could perceive the fabric of reality itself, the threads of gravity, the currents of time, and the whispers of quantum entanglement. Each crew member retained their individuality, but now existed as part of something greater, akin to drops of water merging with an ocean. With their newfound abilities, the crew returned briefly to Earth, eager to share their discoveries. However, communicating what they had become proved challenging. Words failed to capture the depth of their experience, and even advanced technology struggled to convey the nuances of their transformation. Instead, they focused on planting seeds of change, inspiring humanity to look beyond its divisions and embrace a shared destiny among the stars. They demonstrated their powers subtly, performing feats that defied conventional physics, healing wounds instantly, manipulating matter at will, and bending light to create breathtaking displays. These acts sparked awe and curiosity, igniting a global movement towards scientific advancement and philosophical introspection. Governments set aside conflicts to collaborate on projects aimed at understanding the cosmos, while ordinary people began to view themselves as part of a larger cosmic story. Yet, despite their efforts, the crew knew their time on Earth was fleeting. The Luminari had entrusted them with a mission to continue mapping the cosmos and guiding others along the path of enlightenment. Though reluctant to leave behind loved ones and the world they had called home, they understood that their purpose transcended personal attachments. Captain Voss stood atop a hill overlooking the sprawling city below, her translucent form glowing faintly in the twilight. She watched as humanity took its first steps toward unity, inspired by the legacy she and her crew had left behind. Tears welled in her eyes, not of sadness but of pride. She whispered softly to herself, "This is only the beginning." One by one, the crew departed Earth, stepping into the void between stars. Their forms dissolved into beams of light, traveling faster than any spacecraft ever could. They became explorers in the truest sense, venturing into regions of space untouched by sentient life. Along the way, they encountered other civilizations, some primitive and others unimaginably advanced. To each, they offered guidance, sharing fragments of the luminaries' wisdom without imposing their own will. Their journeys took them to places where time bent backward, where dimensions overlapped, and where entire galaxies were born and died in moments. They witnessed wonders beyond comprehension, nebulae shaped like fractals, planets with ecosystems thriving on sound, and stars that sang in harmonic frequencies. Yet, amid these marvels, they also faced trials, tests designed to ensure they remained worthy custodians of the luminaries' legacy. Through it all, the crew grew closer, their bond strengthened by shared experiences and mutual respect. They learned to navigate not just physical space, but emotional and spiritual landscapes as well. Each challenge brought them deeper into alignment with the luminaries' philosophy, teaching them humility, patience, and compassion. Centuries passed, and their legend grew. Humanity, now united under a common banner of exploration and discovery, followed in their footsteps, guided by the star charts the crew had once deciphered. Those maps, once ancient relics, evolved into living entities, pulsing with the energy of the cosmos itself. The crew's names became synonymous with courage and curiosity, inspiring countless generations to reach for the stars. And so, the story of the Eos and its crew became more than history. It became myth, a tale told to remind future generations of the infinite potential within them. For though the stars may seem distant and unreachable, the greatest journeys always begin with a single step. If you're ready to explore the mysteries of the universe, subscribe now and join us on this incredible voyage through space and time.